Alright guys, what is up? Eric Super Magnificent here, and sorry if the microphone sounds a little bit different. I need to get a new microphone because the one attached to the laptop is not really working much. It's kind of bad, so I have to get a new microphone, but I'm using the default mic, so it might sound a little bit different. So I hope you guys can hear me and understand what I'm saying. If not, you can ask questions in the comments and I'll answer them. So here it is, guys. Here we are again, the Postseason Bracket Challenge. Now, this is probably my 4th year in a row doing this. Yeah, my first one was 2016. 2016, I picked Boston and Chicago. And I picked Boston to win. I got that wrong. But hey, at least I got one team right in the World Series, Chicago. 2017, I picked, who did I pick? I believe it was, Cleveland and Arizona. I was completely wrong, but it was actually a really good one. 2018, last year, I picked New York, or no, Los Angeles and Houston in a rematch. I got Los Angeles right, but Boston won. Hey, you know what's surprising? Boston is not in the playoffs the year after they won it. I don't think... When's the last time that happened where a team won the World Series and the next year they're not in it? Let me think. I'm going to go back to 2013 when Boston won. Were they in it in 2014? No, they weren't, I don't think. San Francisco? I don't know. We all know Los Angeles is in it every year. They are. When's the last time... Better question. Yeah, when's the last time Los Angeles wasn't in it? Okay, guys, here we go. So this is on MLB.com. The bracket challenge. I'm a little late to this. So by the time I upload this, the first game would already start. Okay. Here we go. 2019, presented by YouTube TV. All right, let's start off with the National League wild card game is first. Let's go through all the games. So the National League wild card game, you got Milwaukee and Washington, and then the winner of that game will take on Los Angeles. Then the other one you have St. Louis and Atlanta. The American League side tomorrow night, Tampa at Oakland. Then the winner of that game will play Houston. Then the other one you have Minnesota at New York. Just in case if you don't remember what these logos look like, because they don't say the name, they just have the logos. So here we go. How do you play? Well, if this is your first time watching, all you gotta do is click on the logo. If you've been watching this since 2016, the one that I first started, then you may recognize this. And also, let me guys know, who do you guys think is going to win? Or win every game, really. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, here we go. Milwaukee and DC. Milwaukee last year, they went all the way to the NLCS, fell short. I think they had it won, too. They were ahead 3-2. Then they lost the last 2. I think DC... Was DC in it last year? I think they were, but you know what, DC, let me tell you something. DC, every year, whenever they're in the playoffs, they choke. They just can't pass. They can't pass the NLDS, because I don't think they ever been in the NLCS. Not that I remember. Every time they're in the NLDS, they choke. They just can't somehow win. But you know what? This is only the wild card game. It's one game. It's in DC. Milwaukee, they just had to travel from Colorado all the way to DC, and they had to play a 13-inning game. Meanwhile, DC remains at home. That's right, because Sunday they were at home. Their last game was at home, and they get to stay here. They don't have to go anywhere. So, and plus, you have that good-ass pitcher for DC. What's his name? Max. He's really good. I'm going to pick with DC to win this. I did the video game prediction. I predict the score is going to be 4-3. 4-3. Low scoring. Either 4-3 or 3-2. Let me look at this. I think it's 4-3. I took a picture of the score, my predictions. And I'll do the one for tomorrow. Well, I can't say it on this video. 3-2. That's the final. And remember guys, these wildcard games are only one game. Alright, let's go to the other side for the American League wildcard. You got Tampa at Oakland. Very interesting two teams. Because Tampa, they haven't been in it in, 5 years. Oakland, I believe they were in it last year. I think they lost the wild card as well. Both good teams. Both teams won over 90 games. They were battling out to see who would get the home wild card game. It's at Oakland because Oakland has one more win than Tampa. Tampa had to go all the way from Toronto to Oakland. Yeah, Tampa's last game was in Toronto. They had to go all the way to Oakland from Toronto. Oakland only has to travel a little south because they were in Seattle. But if this game was in Tampa, Oakland had to travel from Seattle all the way to Tampa. That is a long travel. Seattle, like the top big city in the country, to Tampa, almost halfway in Florida. That is a long travel. I guess it's better, a better travel from Toronto to Oakland than Seattle to Tampa. Tampa, they were kind of catching up to the Yankees, see who would win the division, but they were short. So, you know what? Let me tell you, I am a Houston Astros fan and a Washington Nationals fan. I have two favorite teams, mostly Houston, but I like DC. Those are my two favorite teams. If Oakland beats Tampa, that means Oakland has to go to Houston and have a division rival game because both those teams are in the same division. But I just don't like Oakland to play Houston in the playoffs because maybe they might win. But again, I kind of want Tampa to win, but I don't think Tampa will win because of that long travel. Same thing with Milwaukee. They went from Colorado to D.C. Tampa went from Toronto, and here we are in Oakland. Well, the thing is, they get 2 days off for the American League wildcard, but the National League wildcard game, you only get 1 day off. Tampa could win. I want Tampa to win because I don't really want to see Oakland and Houston in the division series. But you know what? There's a difference between who you want to win and who do you think's gonna win. Just like the Bowl Mania. Remember the Bowl Mania, the college football games, where who do you think's gonna win, but you don't want that team to win, but you think it's gonna win. I'm gonna pick who I think's gonna win. I'm not gonna pick who I want. I'm gonna pick who I think 2016 I pick who I want, but I'm gonna pick who I think. There's a difference. So I want Tampa to win, but I think Oakland will win, just like that. All right, let's fill these out. Let's go back to the National League. So Washington has to go all the way from D.C. to L.A. Now the division series are best of 5. So you got to win 3 games. And the first 2 games are in L.A. The second 2 games are in D.C. And then the final 5th game will be back in L.A. I like the Washington Nationals, but I also like L.A. That's my dad's favorite team, one of them. But every year, D.C. chokes in the NLDS, and I think they're going to choke again. I don't see the winner of the wild card beating L.A. How many wins does L.A. have? 105? I mean, D.C. and Milwaukee are good 2 teams, but I don't think they're going to beat LA. They have to travel from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. And I think LA is going to sweep them. They're going to win all 3 games in a row. I'm sorry. Sorry, DC fans. I think it's going to be LA 3-0. I'm sorry. All right, let's go to, let's go here, I guess. St. Louis and Atlanta. I think this is going to be a very good one. St. Louis look real hot. They keep winning. They won the National League Central. They're back in the playoffs. They missed the last 2 years because they were 1 game short. 1 game short. Let me check let me make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. I'm trying not to make this video too long. But yeah, St. Louis, they were like 1 game short for the last 2 years. But now they're in the playoffs. But they got to go to that hot Atlanta team. I think this is going to come down to Game 5. I think it will. I think it's going to come down to Game 5. Now, in high school, there's a baseball coach. He's my friend. We're friends. We like talking about baseball. He's an Atlanta Braves fan. You know. And you know what's so funny? He said that, yeah, Atlanta, they're going to sweep LA in the NLCS. And I'm like, oh my God. That's really rare. That's really hard to sweep a team in the best of 7. You have to win 4 games in a row. St. Louis and Atlanta. So it's my dad's favorite team versus my high school baseball coach's favorite team. Atlanta is a really good team. St. Louis is a good team too. Who do I want to win? I don't know. I don't really care who wins. But Atlanta has the home game. You know, every year, guys, I pick an upset. But you know what? Here's an upset right here. I think St. Louis has... No, Atlanta, they have like 97 wins. I'm picking... You know what? Sometimes you got to go with upsets. Because every year, there's at least one big upset. There is. And I think this will be the big upset. I'm sorry, baseball coach. He's not going to watch this video, but I think this will come down to Game 5. I think Atlanta will win 1 at home. Then St. Louis win the 2nd. Then St. Louis win the 3rd one. So they'll win 2-1. And Atlanta will win the 4th one. And then St. Louis will win the 5th one. It's gonna come down to Game 5. I got St. Louis over Atlanta. All right, this side, Oakland and Houston. Oh boy, we got a division rival in the ALDS. I don't want Oakland to win tomorrow. I kind of want Tampa, to be honest, because I'm a Houston fan, you know. Because I don't want to see Oakland and Houston because division rival. But you know what? Houston has more days off. They have more rest. They got the home games. I think Houston will win. They'll win the first 2 games at home. Then Oakland will win the first game at their house. And I think Houston will win in 4 games. 3-1. Got Houston. Hopefully I'm right. Sometimes I don't pick my favorite team because I think who will win. But if I'm wrong, I'm actually happy. Like if I don't pick my favorite team to win it all, and then if I get it wrong and they win it all, I'm happy. I don't care if I get this right. This is just a fun thing I'm doing. All right, we got Minnesota and New York, and I looked at the weather, and it's already going to be pretty cool already. Temperatures are going to be like in the 60s and 50s, so got to be kind of a cold game. But most of these teams are hot. You got, well, I'm talking about the weather. You got Tampa, that's a hot place. Houston's hot. LA's hot. I think DC's still pretty hot. Atlanta's hot. St. Louis is still hot. Milwaukee's going to be kind of cool, but they're indoors. So these are really the only 2 cold teams. In Oakland, it's like hot and cold. I don't like cold World Series. I don't like it. It's just weird. You know, it's kind of weird to have a cold game in baseball. It's supposed to be like a perfect day. You know, the last two World Series, perfect. It was not cold, except for Boston. But when they were in Los Angeles, it was perfect. Minnesota, New York. I don't like New York. I just don't. I thought New York would get the home field advantage at first, but no. It was close. Minnesota, I can't believe it. Ever since like the first month, they've been really good. And look at them. Oh, I just realized. Minnesota, New York, and Houston in the American League all won at least 100 games. And Los Angeles won over 100 games in the National League. Honestly, I don't know who I don't really want either one of these teams in the ALCS because it's going to be colder there, especially Minnesota. Minnesota is so cold. Well, in the winter. New York will get cold too, but some days it might be kind of normal. Honestly, I don't really care who wins this, but I think New York will get the job done. And we're going to have 2 years ago an ALCS rematch. Look at this. This is good. I think this is going to be amazing. NLCS, St. Louis, LA. ALCS, New York, Houston. So that means LA and Houston will get the more home games because they got a better record. St. Louis and LA. It's going to be very good. Watch it be like two teams that every year, whenever I pick the two teams in the World Series, I get one of them right at least. Yeah, 2016, I got Chicago right, but I got the American League wrong. 2017, I pick, 2017, I got both wrong. I picked Cleveland and Arizona, but it was Houston and LA. So, 2018, I picked LA and Houston, but it was Boston and LA, so we'll see. Okay, let's start out with the NLCS, St. Louis and LA. I believe these two teams used to play each other every year in the playoffs. It's either in the NLDS or NLCS. I think it's going to come down to game 6 or 7. Dang, these are like my dad's two favorite teams, so I'm kind of more of a LA fan. But you know what? I don't really care who wins this, to be honest. I don't dislike these two teams. But you know what? I say that St. Louis will win in Atlanta in 5 games. Then they got to go all the way from Atlanta to LA. I think LA will win all the home games, and St. Louis will win all of their home games. So that means LA will win in game 7. Here we go. New York and Houston. Oh boy, this is going to be... I don't like this because I'm a Houston fan because this is kind of scary. This, right off the bat, this will definitely come down to game 7. It will. Here's what's going to happen. Houston will win 2 games. Oh, I forgot. It's like, for example, LA. I forgot the NLCS, like LA, they got 2 home games, then they have to play at St. Louis for the next 3 games. It's like 2, 3, and 2. It's not like hockey. I forgot, 2, 3, and 2. So I said LA's going to win all their home games, and St. Louis will win all their home games. So that means St. Louis will be winning 3-2. Then LA will tie it 3-3, and then I have LA to win it 4-3. I think the same thing is going to happen right here. Except Houston will win the first 2 at home. Then New York will win all 3 on the road. At New York. So that means New York will win 3-2. Then Houston will win game 6. I'm going to pick... I don't want New York to win. But somehow, I think they will. See, you know what's so weird? I would pick Houston. But last year, I picked Houston in the World Series to be in the ALCS champions, but I got that wrong. Boston somehow won on the road, and I think the same thing will happen in New York, except it will be in Game 7. I hope I'm wrong on the ALCS. I hope I'm wrong on the ALCS. Here we go, World Series, New York and LA. Oh boy. Now, these two teams actually played each other in the regular season. And New York won 2 and LA won 1. Yeah. But when LA won their game, it was actually a very close one. And all these games are in LA. So New York and LA. This would be perfect for television. So that means LA will have more home games, right? Yes, they will. I think this will come down to Game 7, just like almost any World Series. You know, LA, they choked twice. They choked twice in the last 2 years. They could have won. They could have won in 2017. They kind of blew it in 2017. 2018, they did not look good, except for that one game they won. They did not look good. But that's because Boston had more home games last year, but this year they won't. Obviously, who am I going to cheer for? Since I don't like New York, I want LA to win. I do. I want LA to win. And I want LA to win because, hey, this is their 3rd year in a row in the World Series if they're in it. And then, hey, you have to win this one. If you can't win the last 2, you got to win this one. You know, it's usually a pattern. One team, one American League will win the World Series, and the next team's a National League, then the next year is a AL League. But now, it's not like that. The past 2 years, it was American League. The American League's pretty tough. Like the best teams. It's going to come down to Game 7. I want LA to win, but if I pick LA to win, I think they'll lose. I think it's going to be a flashback from last year. You know, last year I picked LA to win, but I got that wrong. I picked them to win because I don't like Boston, and they were in it for the 2nd year in a row. And I'm like, okay, this might be the chance to shine. I want to do the same thing again. I want to pick LA, but I won't. I won't. It's going to... Whoa. Okay. I have New York winning it, but I want LA to win. I want LA to win. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know if I said this last year or one of my predictions, but I hope I'm wrong in the ALCS and the World Series. I hope I'm wrong in both, because it seems like New York has gotten better in a long time, probably since the last time they won the World Series, which was, what, like 15 years ago? They were really good back then. I'm sorry, LA. I hope LA wins. Like I said, there's a difference between who you want to win and who do you think's going to win. I'm picking who do I think will win. So, it's going to come down to Game 7. You know, I think LA will win, but if I change it to LA, then I think they'll lose, because I think it's going to be like last year, like, oh, I picked LA to win, I think they'll win, and then they lose. But whenever I don't pick the team who I want to win, they win. Just like Alabama. Oh, I think Alabama will win. I picked Alabama in football, and they lost this year. Last year, I picked Georgia to beat Alabama, and Alabama won. So you know what? Every year, I'm going to pick Alabama no matter what, and I hope I'm wrong. It seems like the winners is always wrong. So that's why I'm saying, probably for the first time, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's Houston. I hope Houston wins it all, but that's who I want to win. But I don't know. New York could pull it off. Sometimes, every year, something happens. Some upset happens. And my big upset is St. Louis beating Atlanta. So, yeah. I could have more upsets. I could have switched it to Tampa. I could have had Tampa beating Oakland, but it's just one game. I do not like that one game in the wild card. I think the wild card should be a best of 3. But the problem is, is that if it's going to be a best of 3 for the Tampa and Oakland, then that means they have to go from Oakland to Tampa, and then Tampa to Oakland again, possibly for Game 3. So they still could have done it. I don't know. Like if they'd done it that way, then the wild card game should have been last weekend instead of on a work night and school night. So yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. Milwaukee could also beat Washington, but I'm gonna pick Washington. But I know they're gonna lose in the NLDS for sure, for sure. So here we go. Let's recap. I picked Washington to win, Oakland to win, but I want Tampa to win, but I think it will be Oakland. I got LA sweeping Washington. I got St. Louis beating Atlanta in 5 games. It's going to come down to the 5th game. I think New York. Did I say how many games they're going to win? If I did, I think they're going to win 3-1. Yeah, they're going to win the first 2. Then Minnesota will win 1 game at home. Then New York will win. It's going to be 3-1. I think this will be 3-1 as well. Oh, Houston beating Oakland. Then the finals. Both Game 7. Both Game 7. And this Game 7. If the World Series is Game 7, you know it's going to be amazing. So, alright, I apologize for that long recorder. I just want to give all my thoughts and opinions. And I'm sorry about the late upload. Been kind of busy with stuff. I forgot, they have this kind of stuff. Pick the MVP. I'm not going to fill this out. But if you want to do that, you can. But I'm not going to do that. Well, I can pick the total number of games. I can do that. 7. Every year I'll pick 7, no matter what. See, I can't answer these. These are like crazy questions. Who do you guys think's gonna win it all? Or yeah, maybe 2 questions. Who do you want to win, but who do you think's gonna win? And if you've done a video of your bracket predictions, let me know. Send me the link, and I'll watch your video, and I'll like and comment. I've noticed some people may click dislike on this video because maybe it's too long to watch, but you can skim through it. You can skim through it. I don't mind if you skim through this video. Some people may dislike on this video because they don't agree with my picks. That's fine. I'm not upset if anyone clicks dislike. Anyway, that's it. What if the World Series is like Minnesota and Atlanta? All I hope... Oh, man, I just realized New York's going to get the cold games. I just hope it's not going to be like... See, there's not really any cold games on this side. I think DC and St. Louis might be cold. I just hope it's not going to be like a cold World Series every game. I hope it will be. I hope it's Houston and LA. That's who I want to be. But hey, I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. So, there's a difference. Anyway, guys, that's it. If you have any questions in the comments, let me know, and I'll answer them. And sorry about the late upload, but I'm going to upload this as fast as I can. Here we go. Time is flying. It's October 1st. You know what that means. It's already time for the playoffs. Crazy. Alright, guys, that is it. And thank you for watching. And yes, I am going to do Bowl Mania again, because I mentioned that earlier. Every year I'll do Bowl Mania. It's fun. And, yeah, we'll see. I might do maybe a talking video about maybe like 1 week later after the postseason games. Maybe after the ALDS. And see how my... oops, I didn't mean to click. See how my bracket is. See if my brackets are matched or different. I'm pretty sure it will be different. Obviously. I wonder if anyone has gotten, like, correct. Like, correct on everything. That is, like, very hard. Yeah. Okay, guys. See you guys next time. Peace out and have a good night.